All right, so a lot of fire in here, a lot of air, right? And air feeds the fire, which is where we're getting up in our head a lot. Yes. So, okay, I want to start over here with this Warrior 8. And, I'm seeing this as, everything's changing, right? Everything is happening. Everything, happening at once. And just the energies in general, right? They're intense. And I feel like you're very open to these. That's why this Warrior 7 is in reverse, right? It's like it's broken through, and we're going 8, 7, 6, right? So interesting. There's a little bit of a countdown that's happening here. But what I'm seeing, and it's kind of like that tearing down in order to build back up. And I do feel that this Uranus is going to be throwing, this is that purging, right? If you haven't purged it yourself, if it needs to go, it's going to go. All for the greater good, right? And this is where this trust comes in. But, I go back to Lacey here, right? If we're not seeing what she's trying to show us, right? The guidance that she's trying to give us, right? The messages that are trying to be sent by Spirit. If we aren't getting them, she's going, the story is she sets a trap to kind of like wake us up, and that's this Uranus energy. And I feel like, whatever's coming through here is breaking down your defenses, right? You've had your defenses up. You're not wanting to hear it. And something's going to happen to make you hear it, right? And that is the challenge. I'm going to go ahead and put this up right, because what I feel like, it might be that you want to go and hide in the corner. And this might even, manifest physically. Last week, I had this exact card. I used this deck here in the earth element with the underworld here. And I got food poisoning. So, this stuff can manifest physically, right? And with these kind of, the air element, if you're subject to migraines, you might want to be like aware. The energies are strong, right? Because I get migraines. So, yeah, just a warning. It's intense, right? But something is going to happen that, you're going to have to draw on that willpower, right? That inner strength to come out and face the challenge. But, once we do here, you're coming out victorious. So just keep that in mind. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and turn this up because you do, right? You face it. And that's why you've got the Pan card, right? This would be the Devil card in a traditional deck. But Pan here, and, I see both the problem and the solution in this card, right? We're getting it's all about that fear factor, right? And things are changing. Something happens to kind of like, purge your life of something that you didn't need, and it scares you, right? And it's okay. It happens. Or the unknown is kind of scary, but you see here, she's just surrendering to it. And that is the answer, is to surrender, right? Surrender. Trust. Trust that, I was talking about the Libran energy, right? Which is air, is bringing in justice. And we see this balance that's happening here, right? And, I see you facing these fears in this, right? It says gift of reason. And she's looking at this little head, and I'm going to say this is him. This little skull. And I kind of see it as your fear, right? And she's just studying it, right? And saying, one of the things that I saw a guy talking one of those TED Talks, and he was talking about when you catch yourself thinking about things. Stop yourself and ask yourself this question, or a couple questions. Are my thoughts useful? How do they behave? Right? And look at your fears, right? Face them head on. Study them, right? What does this mean? And it says gift of reason, right? Reason with your, are these fears reasonable? Can I do anything about these fears right now? Right? Yeah. Kind of reason with yourself, reason with the fear, right? To a certain extent, you don't want to, spend a long time doing that, because then, you're just obsessing over it still. But if you can ask yourself those questions, right? Is this useful? And if you can kind of face those fears and be reasonable, right? So a lot of times what we fear just isn't reality. Is this actually happening? Well, what is the point in worrying about it, right? And that's gift of judgment. And we see, this is the singer of intuition. And look, he's got that third eye right there on that sword. He's using, yes, the reason but he's using, in order to use that good judgment, we see this moon in the back here, right? So really tuning into your intuition, right? Turning off the mind. At least partially. There's a kind of stepping back, yes, being logical, being rational, right? But having control of those thoughts rather than letting the thoughts control you. And, this down below we have Tabira of the waters, and this is about the change, but it's like subconsciously, right? With this Maker 10. Kingdom prospers. You're very grounded in your subconscious. And your subconscious knows that these changes are leading to a better life, a more fulfilling life, abundance. And with this Maker 10 here, I feel like you are being supported by your ancestors. And this is, also, the waters, that's our intuition, right? That's our emotions, and feeling into those, because that is part of our intuition, right? If we kind of stop our thoughts for a moment, how do we feel? And I think you'll find that there isn't fear there. The fear comes from the mind. And after you've spent some time doing that, look at this. In your fire element, which is your action, this is your spiritual element as well, right? The Warrior 6, standing tall, standing mighty, right? He's holding this sword of truth. right? This fist holding up this power. Triumphant. And, you know, this is possibly, I wonder. You know, this could be some kind of public event, right? That's got you all kind of worried and thinking about the worst possible scenario. But all is well. And once again, we see this, this would be the Knight of Pentacles. It says gift of connection. We see this moon in the background here. And I feel like there's this acknowledgement that, you know, remembering that, I don't have to move, you know, just because all of this stuff is happening, I can still take it slow, right? As long as I'm moving forward, right? You can stop and take a breather, right? And we see this butterfly here, you know, the transformation, the wisdom that's being gained from this. And, you know, this connection, you know, this is the water element. This is your emotions, your why do I always want to say communication? Your relationships. So there's this beautiful energy here. I'm just really getting like this grounded, connected energy, and just moving forward. And you're feeling good. You're feeling in your element here for sure. There could be communication, right? Yeah, I'm definitely getting that. Something new, I feel. And then, yeah, Tina Turner's sitting right above her. This dancer queen, gift of truth, right? And I feel like you're getting that here. And I think maybe that's part of your fears here were about, you know, the truth. But you're able to return to, you know, your more creative, watery, emotional, right? But feeling good, right? And it's the most beautiful lotus blooms in the deepest mud. And right, we've been kind of through the mud here. So I feel like this is, you know, opening your heart up again. And this is deep, compassionate love. This side, you know, this feels very tense, and this side feels just really beautiful. Really lovely energy. And this is just, you know, this hero's challenge here that we're going through in order to, you know, this gives you that personal power, right? Fighting through this, whatever this is. Really, you know, it's hard fought, but those are the sweetest victories. Okay, let's get a piece of art for you. And then we'll get closing guidance. And then we'll take a look at the underlying energies all together to see what kind of story they tell. All right, for Taurus. Taurus. Okay, that really wanted to come open. Right. Girl with a white dog. And, you know, I'm getting this, and this kind of together, right? This dog here. There's this, yeah, I'm really getting this a connection here. Very open, easy, loyal, right? Pure. And then, you know, of course, over here we have mountain and sea. And, you know, we're climbing a mountain over here. And then we return to the sea, right? With this Dancer Queen. And this is really nice pastel-y energy. So this is what we're going towards. Right, but I'm drawn to this curtain here behind, like, you know, it's almost like this is behind the curtain right now. You kind of have to lift the veil here. Lullaby. Restoration, dreams, rhythm, lullaby. As dusk arrives, we notice a cello player about to play a lullaby to welcome the sleep we need so dearly. The cycles of day and night, light and dark, orchestrate our natural sleep rhythms. We give so much during the day, night is our time to recover. On his instrument, we can see the moon and stars. They are the guardians of our dreams tonight. Rest with nature's lullaby, blowing gently through the window. Tomorrow, wake to all the days of your life. You know, I'm seeing the moon, I'm seeing the water, and these stars, right? Like your dreams. And this is saying, you know, those dreams are about to come true. It's, you know, once again, there's like this where it's talking about sleep, the time to rest is now, you know, that though we may not see them, they're still coming in, right? Tune into those emotions. Tune. And listen to some music. Right? When you're kind of, it can really change your mood. Because you know, this Deva of Abundance is here. The golden reflection of the source flooding in through the spiral of creation manifests in the warm luminosity of this Deva, which is associated with Uriel, fire of God, regent of the sun. Through this being, we can request the divine abundance to manifest as universal largesse flowing into and around us. The Deva's nature is to manifest the riches of the universe, but in so doing, it will illuminate those areas of challenge and limitation in our lives. We can help to prepare the ground by questioning old thought processes where we expect little good to happen and looking honestly at the events that have led to this consciousness of limitation. Living coherently with our physical, emotional, and spiritual systems working in tandem will allow the highest good to manifest in our lives. When abundance manifests, as it will, we can express our gratitude through generosity to others as well. You may like to try a meditative affirmation to manifest abundance. Imagine yourself in the center of a golden tunnel, feeling joyful and fulfilled, with the rich profusion of the universe flooding into you. When this Deva appears in your spread, it indicates that abundance is in your energy field. All you have to do is ask for it.